Attorney General William Barr appeared on Capitol Hill for the first time Tuesday since the release of the Mueller report. But while he was there to talk about his department's budget, he instead faced questions from Democrats on his handling of the report. CBS News chief congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes has more.
Within a week, I will be in a position to release the report to the public.
That vow from the Attorney General did not satisfy Democrats, who slammed Barr's handling of the report from Special Counsel Robert Mueller, starting with this 4-page synopsis Barr released late last month.
We offered to have Bob review it before putting it out, and he declined.
I didn't ask you about reviewing. I asked if you thought about having them help prepare the March 24th letter. I mean, they did the report after all.
No, I didn't think about it.
Why not?
Because it was my letter.
Barr acknowledged he chose not to release summaries prepared by Mueller's team.
I suspect that they probably wanted, more put out.
But he insisted he did not mischaracterize Mueller's findings.
No collusion, no obstruction. It's over. It's done. It's over.
Well, the letter speaks for itself.
I thought it did, too.
After a 2-year investigation, Mueller's team was split over whether the president obstructed justice. They left it to the new attorney general, who made a decision in just 2 days.
To do this, it seems your mind must have been already made up.
Barr said he is working with the special counsel to determine which passages in the 300 to 400-page report are sensitive and need to be kept secret.
We will provide explanatory notes describing the basis for each redaction.
But he refused to reveal whether anyone at the White House has gotten an early look.
I'm not going to say anything more about it until the report is out and everyone has a chance to look at it.
Nancy Cordes joins me now from Capitol Hill. So, Nancy, do we have a better idea yet what will be redacted?
Well, the Attorney General sort of reiterated in this hearing the fact that there are 4 distinct buckets of information that will be redacted in the report. Things like information that is classified, information pertaining to an ongoing investigation, information having to do with a peripheral player in all this that would be blacked out to protect their privacy since they aren't being charged with anything. What was interesting was the fact that he laid out, first of all, that he is working with the special counsel's team to identify which material needs to be redacted, A, to speed up the process, and B, the implication is that he's not going to redact anything that Mueller's team hasn't blessed first. But beyond that, he says he's going to provide kind of a roadmap to why things are being blacked out. A lot of times when you get a classified document, you just see big paragraphs that are all blacked out. You don't know why. You don't know what that paragraph is about, so you really can't make any kind of educated guess about what you're missing, the context you're not getting. He says in this case, there's going to be a sort of color coding system so that the reader will know if something is blacked out, why it's blacked out, which one of those 4 buckets does it fall into? Is there a particular case that it relates to? And that, again, is to try to increase public trust in the fact that he isn't simply willy-nilly blacking things out that might not look good for the president, but has actually put some thought into it and is being pretty stringent, applying this rubric that he has already set out, and that he is working with someone who most people seem to trust. That's the special counsel, Robert Mueller.
And Nancy, is it clear at all, will Congress see an unredacted version of the report?
The Attorney General made it very clear that if it is up to him, no, Congress will not see an unredacted report. He says that his reading of the law is that he is not required to hand over an unredacted version to Congress. Republicans have made the case that their colleagues can't be trusted with this sensitive information, that they'll simply leak things that they think could be damaging to the president. But you've got Democrats arguing, look, Congress handles classified and sensitive information all the time, and that there are ongoing investigations taking place on Capitol Hill, and they need to be able to see all the documentation in order to conduct their own investigations. Interestingly, Barr did say that if Democrats or Republicans have a specific question about some piece of material that has been redacted, that they can ask him about it and that he will try to work with them to get them more information. But the problem is you don't know what you don't know. If a whole page is blacked out, you don't necessarily know how significant it is, so you don't know to ask the Attorney General to share it with you.
Right. How do you construct a question when it's unclear what it is you have in front of you in the first place?
Right.
So despite this pressure to release the unredacted report, the Attorney General says he will not ask a judge to let him make the grand jury material available. Why is this?
You know, again, it goes back to this notion that he says, first of all, this is sensitive information that doesn't need to be turned over. And also the case that he made is nobody has been charged with a crime, at least not in the Mueller report, and more specifically, the president. And so if you're not charging the president with a crime, why does Congress need the underlying grand jury information that, after all, did not lead to someone being charged of a crime? So that is the case that the Attorney General is making. He may have an opportunity eventually to make that case in court, because Democrats say that if he does not hand over that material, if he redacts even one line of the Mueller report, and he's made it pretty clear he's going to redact a lot more than that, then they are issuing that subpoena that they have in their back pocket, and they are going to take DOJ to court.
All right, Nancy Curtis on Capitol Hill for